This happened 3 years ago, deep inside a forgotten part of northern Arizona called Blackwater Ridge, a place most locals refuse to talk about. I was only there because of my job. I worked for a small land survey company, and we got hired to inspect an old abandoned ranger station that sat miles away from any town or highway. Everyone told me not to stay there after dark. I remember the gas station clerk staring at me with wide eyes when I mentioned the location. He didn't even try to sell me anything extra. He just said, "Don't let the sun go down while you're out there." I should have listened. I reached the ranger station around late afternoon. The place was completely isolated. Just a broken wooden building surrounded by tall, dead trees and silent mountains. No birds, no wind. Just a strange quietness that felt unnatural, like the whole forest was holding its breath. The station itself looked like it hadn't been touched in 20 years. Window frames empty, door hanging off one hinge. A sign halfway buried in dirt that read, "Blackwater Ranger Outpost. Closed since 1998. I started doing my work fast. I took photos, measured the boundaries, checked the ground condition. I wanted to finish before dark, but I kept feeling like someone was watching me from the tree line. Every few minutes, I would turn around thinking I'd see a person standing there, but there was nothing. Still, something was wrong. It was the feeling you get when you walk into a room and realize you're not alone, even if you don't see anyone. Around 6:30 p.m., the sun started to drop behind the ridge. That's when I heard it, the first sound since I arrived. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't wind. It was whistling. A slow, off-key tune, coming from the trees. I froze. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The whistle didn't sound playful or human. It was too slow, too sharp, like someone trying to copy a tune they never learned properly. I called out, "Hello? Anyone there?" The whistling stopped instantly, and the forest went dead silent again. I don't know why I didn't leave right then. I kept telling myself it was probably the wind, or maybe an echo. My brain refused to accept anything else. But deep down, I already knew that wasn't true. I packed up quickly and started walking to my truck, which was parked a few hundred feet down the trail. But when I reached the spot, my stomach dropped. My truck door was wide open. I never leave it open. Never. I thought maybe a bear tried to get inside, but nothing was damaged. The seats were untouched. My bags were still there. It was like someone had simply opened the door and looked around. I slammed the door shut, got in, and turned the key. The engine clicked, but it wouldn't start. Again, and again. Nothing. I wasn't religious before that moment, but I swear I prayed harder than I ever had. And that's when I heard the whistling again, this time much closer. Behind me, right behind the truck. A chill ran down my entire spine. Every hair on my body stood up. I didn't want to look, but I couldn't stop myself. Slowly, so painfully slowly, I turned my head toward the back window. At first, I thought my eyes were tricking me. It was getting dark, and the forest shadows were long and stretched. But then one of the shadows moved. Something tall, taller than any man, was standing between the trees. Its shape was wrong. Too thin, too long. Its head tilted unnaturally to the side like it didn't understand how a neck was supposed to work. And then it stepped forward. The whistling grew louder. My breath left my body. My hands shook uncontrollably. I tried the engine again, and by some miracle, it finally roared to life. I didn't look back. I hit the gas so hard that gravel flew behind me like gunshots. The road out of Blackwater Ridge was rough, twisting, and narrow. Trees passed by in a blur. Every time my headlights hit the woods, I could swear I saw movement, like that thing was running alongside me, just out of sight. About 2 miles down, the road split into 2 paths. But here's the thing. On my map, there was only one path. Left. There had never been a right turn. But now there was. The right path looked freshly cleared. No plants, no rocks, like it had been waiting for me. My hands started to turn the wheel toward it on their own. I didn't want to. Something was pulling at me, like gravity, or a voice in my head that wasn't mine. Then, from the left side of the forest, something screamed. A sound so sharp and so violent it rattled my windows. Not human, not animal. Something ancient, angry. It snapped me out of whatever trance I was falling into. I jerked the wheel left, the correct path, and sped away. As I drove, the screaming turned into whistling again. Softer now, fading. But I could still hear it, even when the trees finally thinned and I saw the main road ahead. I didn't stop driving until I reached the nearest town. I parked in front of a diner, got out, and threw up on the pavement. My whole body was shaking. I couldn't even speak.